Good morning, good evening, and good night to all viewers and listeners. Here we are back again on Cup of Confidence and a Cup of Confidence you. Listen, you know the show. You've been following for a little while now. It's only been about 5 in or so. And as you know, everything we talk about is to do with confidence, self-esteem, how you get confidence, what is confidence, and everything. But we like to find out from our guests, as I normally say to you. So grab your pens and pads. We got a spectacular guest today who's quite experienced in helping others gain confidence as well. I won't tell you what she does. She'll tell you what she does. So let's welcome Sophia Lewis. Yay! Hi there, Sophie. How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. I'm even better because I'm glad we got this together. It's been a while since we've been trying, so I'm gonna be good now. So listen, you know what? Before we even start, this is Cup of Confidence. And it's the place to be. Like our viewers, they kind of kick back and they grab their cuppa and join us too, because it's just two friends just shooting, have a little chat. So I've got the Trade Cup of Confidence cup with me. I'm going to ask you that question. Have you got your cup with you?
I've got my cup with me. Here you go.
Hey, what does that say? What does that say?
It says,
Reminder.
reminder, never let anybody take you for idiot. Clothes and body.
I love it. I love it. I love it. They better mess with you in that sense. Where'd you get that from?
You know what? My good sister friend, Donna, she bought this for me a
Yeah.
couple of Christmases ago. Yeah, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, Donna's contributed to this as well. So hey, Donna, that's
She
a good one.
has.
That's a good one. So in saying that, what do you got in your cup?
I've got hot water and lime.
Hot water and lime.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit different
Yeah.
than usual. Okay, so what's with the hot water and lime? Tell us about it. Give us a
It's
tip
just
on that.
something that I love to drink. I just love hot water and lime. I have it every morning. I also have it when I go to bed as well, and it just helps with detoxifying the liver. It's a cleanser. So yeah,
Right.
hot water and lime. Anybody who knows me, they know when I go to a restaurant, I always order hot water and lime.
Wow. Wow. That's a good one, isn't it? And obviously very conscious of looking after yourself and what hot water and lime does for you. I understand it's good for your digestive system as well, isn't it? When eating. So yeah, great stuff. Okay. Today I've got the cup of confidence mug, and inside this one, I see you could just about see in there. Yeah, just about see in there. All
Yeah,
right there.
well,
Yeah, I've got some honey and lemon. You know, the weather's cold out there, you need it. I'm supposed to be going training later and all that. So I'm just stocking up before prevention better than cure. Yeah, and good for the throat as well. So there we go. So saying that, let me have a little sip. Cup of confidence to you. Right. So in saying that, our listeners' viewers would like to know a little bit about you. So I got this question for you, which I always ask. I know you, but they don't. So who are you and what do you do?
okay, good question. I am love, I am resilience, I am ambition, I am all of those things just wrapped up,
Wow.
and I'm also a training consultant. I'm also a podcast host as well, where I focus on skills development, sharing stories, and inspiring personal and professional growth.
Wow, that sounds brilliant. That sounds brilliant. So you're juggling two at the same time right now, I
Yeah,
take it. Yeah.
I am, and it is a roller coaster of a journey, but I'm absolutely loving it.
I could just imagine. I could just make that busy because, as we know, we're doing podcasts. We're on the same journey. We've known each other many years now, right? And here we are, meeting at this point. We're in the same journey with podcasts. But let's jump back a bit. You just mentioned about training. Training. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been delivering employability, personal development training for about maybe over 20 years now.
Mhm.
Um, I deliver to the long term unemployed, adult
Right.
learners who want to upskill, reskill, identify key gaps, skill gaps that they have, and, provide information and training so that they are able to secure a job of choice.
Right. So would you say that you're empowering them with the tools and skills?
Yeah, 100%, 100% empowering because I see my role more as a facilitator because a
Mhm.
lot of the people that I come into contact with, they might have low confidence, low
Right.
self-esteem, and they
Mhm.
might feel a bit stuck, not sure
Right.
as to which way that they should go to. But I
Right.
really see my role as like a facilitator, facilitating what is already within the room, but just
Mhm.
bringing it out. Do you know what I mean? And just allowing them to know that they have the skill set, they have the qualities and the knowledge, you know what I mean? So that they feel more
Yeah.
empowered to continue along their journey and as well to secure a job of choice. And I think that's really key.
Wow, that's that's really something because it takes quite a skill to communicate with people and transfer the information into them actually realizing that they are good, that they have got the skills and they're empowering them with it. So, could you just give us you don't have to name it, in fact, give us a little example of someone who's pretty, let's say, low in their confidence, being unemployed, their self-esteem pretty low, and take them through that journeys.
So many stories to share. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
People that who I'm delivering training to have really increased their self-confidence. But it's not just about confidence, it's also
Right.
about having that self-belief that they are able to. Do you know what I mean? Or what a
Right.
lot of people tend to need is a bit of encouragement, a bit of praise,
Mhm.
along the way. So I
Mhm.
remember I was delivering I think it was for, oh, can I say the name? I'm not sure if I can say the name.
Okay, organization.
Organization. I was delivering for an organization, and this particular learner said that how she finds it difficult to speak in groups, and she feels it's a challenge because she doesn't believe that she can communicate and articulate herself in a good way and manner, and she feels that when she speaks she feels as if nobody really understands her. And I was like,
Mm.
okay. But throughout the course, she started to share more. Do you know what I mean? She started to, when they were put into breakout rooms and everything, I saw her leading and sharing more. And I was like, oh, this is absolutely amazing. So when
Mhm.
everybody came back to the full room, because we've done this all on Zoom, I asked everybody to take off their mics and to give her a round of applause. Do you know what I mean? And
Wow.
it really made an impact to her. The reason why it made an impact for her because she has never been praised, she's never been encouraged, she
Right.
hasn't received, good positive feedback with regard to that personal area that she was struggling with. And you know
Right.
what? She wrote an email to myself and also to the client, just giving praises. Do you know what I mean? Like saying, thank you so much, Sophia. Do you know what I mean? What you done there was just so powerful in terms of how it helped her own self-confidence and her own belief in knowing that she is a good communicator. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
She can
Brilliant.
communicate well. So what I believe that the reason why I'm sharing this particular story is
Mhm.
that my role is to create an environment where
Mhm.
people are able to flourish. Do you know what I mean? Where they feel confident in sharing their stories and being transparent and being authentic. It takes time. It doesn't necessarily happen, within the first day or the second day, but I try my hardest. But the end of the course, that people have the skills that when they leave, they know what to do to keep on topping up and that, confidence tank type of thing.
Right. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, for that to happen for somebody, sometimes we come across individuals, but you've actually made a difference in their life, So you must be pretty adept at what you do. You must feel pretty good about what you do, and you must be good at it, would you say?
I, humbly, isn't it? Yeah, I am a bit good at it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I
Mm.
believe that I am great at what I do. When I
Right.
have, external organizations coming in to like observe my training and delivery, it's always outstanding, and it's engaging, it's fun because I allow the people in the room to lead. I allow them to talk and share their stories and everything. I'm just facilitating what is already within the
That's
um the
fantastic.
training room.
That's absolutely great. In saying that, because I'm going to ask you about the other side of the podcast, but I want to stick with this for a little bit, right? Now, you are good at what you do and confidently, as you said, humbly, yeah, that you're good at what you do and you got to, in that sense, be able to do that. What was it like in the beginning? Was you always that confident in delivering and facilitating and all that? What was it like in the beginning when you started doing that?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I believe that confidence is about the willingness to give things a try, a willingness to give things a go. So my I sort of like fell into training. It wasn't
Mhm.
something that I always wanted to do, but I know that my skill set is always about the ability to engage with others and network and put people
Right.
together. So I feel that my interest in others and my ability to you know, identify when people need help and to provide
Mhm.
that help, sort of like provided me with that foundation within training, really. So at the beginning, I was definitely not confident in that area, but I gave it a go. I remember
Right.
when I was promoted to become a trainer at the place where we both worked at. And you encouraged me, Georgina George, Tina Sade, River Sweeney, all of you encouraged me. Say, yeah, go for it. But
Yeah.
it's so interesting is that you don't really see what's inside you. It's like that Johara window type of context, that blind
Right.
area, isn't it? The things that you do not see about yourself, others do. So
Right.
I'm grateful for that encouragement because looking back, I've definitely come a real far, 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 far way. But I didn't start with a reserve tank of 80% confidence. It maybe was about 20 or 30, and I've sort of um, leveled up along the years.
Right. It's an amazing journey you mentioned because we've known each other for quite a number of years. I'll tell you that now, listeners. And we both used to deliver training back in the days. I can actually remember the time they actually talking about when you came on board and delivered training. And honestly, it's fantastic, you know. So look at what's happened up to today. Now that to you listeners should make a difference as well. You're thinking about where you are now, but imagine where you'll be in the future. You know, so don't worry about it. As Sophie said, you just get on with it. Throw yourself in the deep end. You know, you will swim. You will swim. Okay. So, furthermore, then, I'd like to know this. You're quite a busy lady in that sense because there you are delivering training, helping people get on board, building that confidence, and as we know, the employment situation, you know, so it's making a difference. How about yourself with the podcasting at this time, as we're both on that journey as well?
Yeah, we
How are
both.
you doing? Tell us about it.
So yes, I am. I'm proud to say. Do you know what I mean? I am so proud to say that I am the producer. Da-da-da-da. I am the podcast host for the Long Story Short podcast, and I
Right,
use a platform to share stories about resilience. Do you know what I mean? I'm so interested in people's twists and turns of life and how they have navigated life's twists and turns. So it's a podcast where I get everyday people. There could be entrepreneurs or just doing, in careers that they love and that they're passionate about. And they're talking about a particular moment in their life. And
right.
I'm interested, I'm just generally interested in to hear how people have navigated life twists and turns.
Right. And in saying that as well, it seems to me, I mean, you could tell me I might be wrong, but it just seems to me there's energy, a thing about just helping people because of what you do on one side and what you do on this side. It still has that golden through thread of helping people. Where does that come from?
I wow, it must be part of my DNA. Do you know what I mean? It
Mm,
must
yeah,
be part of my DNA.
I understand.
Because part of long story short is about isn't to provide education, to inspire and empower people towards positive action. Do you know what I mean?
Wow,
Because that's
wow.
how I think maybe a lot of things that people do is what they need for themselves. So
Right,
I need to be inspired. I need to be, empowered towards positive action. And I also
right.
love education and learning things from others. So I believe that platform is not just helping others, but it's also helping myself because I'm also going along that journey.
Right. It's what's really interesting is you said the type of people that you interview that you have on board. Long story short. People, let me just say again, because I already just slipped in there. Long story short is the name of Sophia's podcast. Okay. Right. So the people you have on there is everyday people. And it's much the same here on Cup of Confidence. Yeah, and as you know, you hear about the celebrities, you hear what's happening and all that, but take away all the different layers. And we like to meet the everyday person, one that we can actually identify with. That's not knocking anybody's ears because I try and balance a bit of both as well. You know, those who really want to know about, you know, who's up there, and those who every day we can relate to. So that makes a difference. And I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that, you know. Now, obviously, with that, it still has that golden thread of helping people, getting people to believe in themselves, getting their self-esteem right place, but also their skills and being able to talk about themselves, right? Do you find that beneficial?
Oh, yes, it's very beneficial for them because they are having an opportunity to share their story. And I think the foundation of this is love. Do you know what I mean? It is love because people are sharing their stories to help. And why would you want to help? Is because you love, humans. Do you know what I mean? You want them to do well, type of thing. So guests have found it so, I can say, rewarding,
Mhm.
so much rewarding. And I've heard such great feedback from one. I was on a call yesterday, and one of the previous guests said that she has received a consultation based on the podcast episode that we done. So it's also it's not just about, there's a, what would you call it, an effect, isn't it? There's an effect happening. It's ricocheting. There's a ricochet effect, isn't it? So
Right,
you're coming onto the podcast and other people are finding it very valuable. And through that, the guests are getting new business, new connections. And for myself as well, since
right,
starting the podcast, there has been lots of new opportunities that have come my way too. So the foundation of that is love.
right. So the foundation, the key foundation is love. Yeah.
Love. Yeah.
You're helping a lot of people. And what you're doing is you're empowering them with skills, the ability to move on, go ahead. And I remember that experience as well from working with yourselves as well. We was delivering workshops and people giving feedback about what they achieved and what they've done, and they were grateful. That's very empowering. But what about for yourself? Where do you think your empowerment comes from?
It comes from support from others.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think definitely support from others saying, yes, Soph, you can do this. Do you know what I mean? Well done. And, just supporting, not just through the spoken word, but also through actually, commenting on when I release an episode and following and sharing. I think all of that helps me to be empowered. Do you know what I mean? To know, not to say that I doubt what I am doing, but it just helps with with the journey.
Okay, okay. But the thing about it, you answered it because
Oh,
it is about that. You know, I would say, and I'll join you on that, it's the feedback you get from others that infuses you as well to say, yeah, I'm going to carry on more with this. That's quite empowering that you know that you're making a difference because if that's your main goal, you know, one of my main goals is I've got this kind of vision about changing it all for all who's been through something, who need to get back on top and realize that, you know what, I can do this too. That's one of mine at the end of the day. So I think it empowers, you know, empowering others actually empowers you at the same time because when you
mm.
see them do it, you think, yeah, got that one. Yeah, can make that happen. You know, so that was my side of it in that sense. So I believe that you answered that anyway, pretty good in that sense. Now, what else? Let's talk about the day in the life of Sophia. All right, all right. So people know right now. They know that you deliver training. You're in management and training, and also you run a fabulous podcast that empowers others as well in the same way. But what about the day in the life of Sophia? Because there's people that are thinking, I wish I could do that too. How can I do that too? What is your day start like?
It starts off, wow, how do I start my day? Well, every day is different and it's very varied.
Right.
I tend to really go by what is priority
Hmm.
that needs to be done, and that is how I schedule my day out. Um,
Right.
so it could be that, my day requires me to do some teaching observations, or it may need to attend some online meetings, or I could be delivering training online, or I
Right.
could be writing up some form of resources, or researching for new types of programs. So my day is so very varied, but I'm so old school and I use a paper diary. Yeah,
Right.
I've got a
Snap.
paper diary, yeah. And at the beginning of the week, what I do, I just write down everything that needs to be done. I do like a brain dump. I've got a
Okay.
really good friend called Stephen, and he's a mindfulness coach, so big up to
Okay.
Steve from Mind Bubbles. And what it is, he's really taught me how to make sure I do like a mind dump for the, it could be on the Monday or the Saturday before, not Saturday, on the Sunday before my
Yeah.
week starts. And I write down everything that I have to do, because what I find is that generally I am an overthinker. And if I don't get out what is in my head, it causes a lot of stress and anxiety for me. So, in order for
Right.
me to deal with it and to be a bit more productive and effective in my week, what I do, I write everything that I have to do in that week, and that gives me a lot of clarity. And then I, organize it in terms of what needs to be done, what is priority, and what is urgent type of thing. So,
Right.
I schedule my week, and my week, as I said, it very much varies. It could be, responding to comments made on the podcast episode. It could be spending time creating content, but I use AI apps for that, because if you're in business and you're not using AI, forget it. Do you know what I mean? Forget it. Okay, so spend time I spend a lot of time at the beginning of the week, because my Monday is like a soft day. So I spend
Right.
time on a Monday doing, content creation and organizing that and scheduling that for the week ahead. Also, making continuing relationships online, especially through LinkedIn, and maybe
Right.
catching up with people, saying hello, making a call, or organizing, like a 30-minute Zoom call, because building and maintaining relationships is very important to me. And not
You're
just
good
my personal life, it is so important, it's essential in my personal life, but also in business too. So,
Right.
checking in with people, saying hello, even if it's just a WhatsApp message to say, I'm checking in, how are you doing?
Mhm.
I would do that too. And then as well, I make sure I have time for fitness, you know.
Right.
I make sure I have time for fitness, keeps me sane.
Is that the evening time? Is that the evening time? The daytime too?
I've got to balance it. So I could have weeks where I would have, like, four key things that need to be done in that week, or it might not be. It could be just maybe two things or one things, but I just try to balance it out. And at all times, I really try. I'm still a work in progress. Do you know what I mean? To
I
be
think we
kind to myself as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we all are a work in progress. If they want to tell me they got it all going and it's perfect and all that, I'll say, I don't really buy it, at the end of the day, because we've got to have our little rough bits to actually appreciate the good sides as well. So your day sounds pretty packed, actually, with work and the socializing. And I know you're a great networker because I've seen you out there. You've just been smashing it, haven't you? Right? So they're really good as well, and you share on that, which is really good, a good thing. It's funny talking about how we start our days. Anytime we kind of get that question, that's when we get reflect and think, well, how do I start my days? What do I do? And then when we look back at that, we see how productive we really are. And you said that whole thing of brain dumping and writing it down. You mentioned Stephen. I remember you mentioned about him before as well, in the mind mapping and the bubbles and all that. Keeps coming up, Stephen. Stephen, I'm going to meet you soon. I've heard about you before, okay? Right. So the thing about it, it's funny because I'll switch that. When I get up first in the morning, or first thing for me in the morning, I've got to stabilize myself by just saying thank you for
Oh,
another day, another opportunity to even get in there and start doing what I'm going to do, And after I've done everything I do, depending on the time of the day, I might start the writing in the morning. Depends how busy it is, but if I don't, I'll end the day with riding with a dear friend of mine where we go riding throughout the week each time, make sure, which I'm doing after today, actually. And, you said something as well, which actually kind of went through to me. I mean, mine is like any appointments I've got with coaching, but the one thing which I'll say, and I'll say to you out there as well, is Sophie says she does something, and it's funny. So that's actually what I do. It's on a Sunday. I actually line up what I've got to do throughout the week. But what I do, I've got a big whiteboard, and we do all stuff. If I had it on the laptop or something, I'll probably not see it and go over it. It'll spring up, and then I'll move it out of the way and carry on what I'm doing. Before I know it, and I think, oh, I should have done that. So I got a whiteboard in the office here, and I put a one, two, three, at least four major things that will shift things in one way or another that I actually put up on the board. I've got a saying that I put up on it. It says, do an action that brings a result today. So always look at that as well and put that on there, and just carry on throughout the day. So yeah, that's really good. It's really good because when we look at that, then we could see what we need to do to up our game, or as it is now, is it great in that sense? So yeah, I'm glad you shared that actually. So you people out there, what are you actually doing? How do you plan your week? Why not drop us a line and share that with us as well? How do you plan your week? Because we can learn from each other. So if you could drop a line on that as well, cup of confidence, it'll be great. We'll share this in the notes below as well. Okay, so yeah, we're getting to that time, right? That time where it gets a bit, we gotta enjoy this, right? We get to know more about you. Okay, we went into the transitioning as well in what you do and who you are, right? Which is great. Thank you. I want to ask you a few fun questions before we actually wind up, right? Now, one of them, well, I was giving you an idea of what it is. I'm going to flip things up a bit, right? Okay, so first question, coffee or tea, or what do you like to drink?
I was gonna say hot water and lime, but if it's out of the two, coffee and tea, it's got to be tea.
Got to
Yeah,
be tea.
yeah,
Okay, why tea?
tea.
Any
Um,
particular reason?
it's like the taste of tea. I don't like coffee.
Right.
Why I don't like coffee is I don't like the smell of it. I do,
Oh,
yeah, it's my senses, man. I don't like the smell of coffee. I prefer tea. If I'm gonna have tea, it's got to be Red Bush. I love Red Bush tea,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
have to have it with it's really bad, but don't tell nobody.
Right.
Condensed milk.
Red Bush with condensed milk.
Yeah,
Wow,
just
wow.
a
Yeah,
teaspoon of condensed milk with no sugar, just because it's sweet already, right? With a
yeah, yeah.
teaspoon of condensed milk, and that's me. Yeah, Red Bush tea. Mhm.
Wow. You know what? I like tea as well, but I got introduced to coffee, and I have one in the morning, might be a cappuccino and stuff like that. But you are right. I don't think it's the best thing for you. But with the teas as well, I drink a lot of herbal teas, but you just said something. You said Red Bush with condensed milk. I've never even thought of that concept. I just have it as is. It's like, what? Do I try it? Is she surviving? Is it real?
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Red
nice. I love
Bush with condensed milk. Don't tell the people that, man.
it. Yeah,
But that's good. That's really good. Okay, so that was our first question, right? Here we go. Would you prefer to write with a pad or the keyboard on a notebook, a laptop or so?
a pad.
Yeah, write a pad. Why is that?
A pad if it's just general notes. If
Hmm.
it's just general notes, I love to write on a pad because I think better when I have my a pen in my hand and I'm writing. Um, but if it is for, business and work, it has to be my MacBook Pro. Big up my MacBook Pro, right? But otherwise, I love writing with a pen and making notes.
Mm, interesting. I'll flip that one as well. Do you know it's actually beneficial to actually write with a pen? It's good for the brain. Apparently, right side, left side brain. Instead of actually learning how to tap the keys on it. Obviously, tapping the keys fast. Good. It's not saying that's what you should do. Everybody, what's their better choice? But it's actually good for you. And I myself as well. I like to, write on a pad as well. I jot everything down. It makes no sense at the time when I jot down and look at it after, but it's important. It's good for the brain in that sense. So yeah, that's great. Oh, so you're MacBook Pro as well.
Yeah, I love MacBook Pro. My cousin, Nadia, big up to
That,
Nadia Dafine,
hey, be up to Nadia. Yes.
uh, has
Yeah. So
introduced me to MacBook Pro. Yeah, and it's a great machine.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at you right now as well, MacBook Pro. So many parallels. So here we go. Here we go. What would be your take it? You're a reader, right? What would be a favorite book for you? What would you think beneficial? What kind of topics?
Oh, I love topics about, biographies of individuals. I love like personal development and
Mhm.
self-help books. The book that I picked up a couple of days ago that I'm going to start reading again is The Richest Man of Babylon by George
Right,
Clason. Yeah, so I'm going to pick that up and just remind myself about, helpful tools, getting that financial mindset type of thing.
yeah,
Be
it's
picking
a
that up.
great book. Yeah, great book. Um, and you said you reread it. You've read it all before.
Oh, I've read it about 5 times, Chris.
Wow,
I've read it so many times. I've got notes all over it. Yeah, it's just a
really?
small book. You can read it in like a day, to be honest, because it's such a
Right,
small book. But yeah, it's lovely. When I first read it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Why
right.
didn't I see this book when I was 15, 14?" type of thing. Do
Oh,
you know?
really? Oh,
It's a great book about, you know, your approach to money. Okay.
oh,
Because, things are changing and it's so important to have, that right mindset towards money. So it's just for me, a reminder, about,
right.
staying on track and just ensuring that I have that right mindset towards money management, really.
Right. Okay, that's a book that is quite well known, especially in the development field. It's always asked, "Have you read that?" I've got it. I haven't read it all yet.
Mhm.
And you told me how many times you read it, so it's just kind of inspired me. I've got to go and read that properly now. Instead at the end of the day. So here we go. You got a choice of a superpower. You can either fly or be invisible. Which one would you choose?
Oh, it's definitely got to be flying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I got to fly because my dad lives in Florida, so I want the opportunity to be able to, fly when I want to, and just maybe sit down with him and have dinner or tea and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I want that
Okay.
freedom because I love flying. I love traveling and everything.
Right.
So instead of like booking airways, I can just get up and go. Do you know what I mean? With my suitcase in my hands and just fly.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Sophia Lewis. That sounds great, man. That sounds great. What is it about travel? I like travel as well. What is it about travel that gives us that buzz when we go to different places? What is it?
Don't know, it just gives me, I'm just excited about, going somewhere that for me it's about climate. Do you know what I mean? I love warm, hot, sunny climate. So
Yeah,
any opportunity that I have to get away from the cold, I am excited. And as well, it gives me, it's like it's freedom. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, it's just, I just love the feeling. I love even going to the airport. Even going to
wow.
the airport, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm excited. And I do a lot of traveling on my own as well and stuff, which
Right.
is good. Yeah. So yeah, I love traveling.
Oh, wow. And you say you do a lot of travel on your own as well.
Yeah, yeah, I was in South Africa. I traveled to South Africa and lived in South Africa for 3 months.
That.
Yeah, do you remember that? Well,
Yeah,
20 years ago. That
yeah.
was very much empowering. I loved it. Yeah, do a lot of traveling on my own because at the end of the day, it's like you're getting on a train, isn't it? Or you're driving in your car type of thing. So it's not as if you need to have conversations with people really because you're just sitting in a seat going to a destination. So I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Mm.
Hey, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm sure as you all just pick up, like Sophie mentioned twice, said over 20 years ago. We've known each other quite a while now and started out in training and coaching and all we do and different directions and still the same path. And I've seen many changes in yourself, Sophie. I've seen many changes, the transition that you go through to the point that we are now. And it's just been a fabulous journey in that sense, you know. And as I said, you're very good at connecting with people and linking people. You know, one thing I'll say to everybody out there, look, Sophie mentioned about training, right? If there's somebody who's an authentic person to talk to in training, I know egos and pride and all that, it's Sophia. So if you're thinking about, you know, somebody else to boost their confidence as well, obviously this is cup of confidence, but if you're thinking about somebody else in there, look, Sophia's good. Book her. Find out for yourself, you know, get in touch. Where can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can get in touch with me through LinkedIn. It's Sophia Lewis and the dash.
Right. So there you go. Get in touch, right? So, Sophia, here we are on Cup of Confidence, and we have had a fabulous time. We've learned a lot, we've grown, we've shared quite a bit, and you know, ourselves as well, we're always laughing, isn't it? We're always laughing at this, that, and the other, right? Because it's keeping it real, right? But you know what? This has been quite focused, and you know, I really enjoyed it as well. And I'm sure viewers enjoyed it as well. And if you did, you know, drop us a line, give us a thumbs up on it, you know, see what more you want to know as well, you know, in Cup of Confidence, because here we are. So, on that note, I'm going to say, on behalf of all viewers and myself, Sophia, thank you very much for taking the time and coming on here on Cup of Confidence. It's been great.
Well, thank
So,
you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And I'm gonna lift this cup up to you. Where's your cup? Where's your cup? Lift this cup up to you and say, Cup of Confidence. Take care. Have a great future, great life, and we will be revisiting and would like you to come back on a later date. Would you up for that?
Oh, 100%. You know me. Yeah, just let me know when and I'll be there.
Great stuff. All right, then. We're looking forward to that again. So, everybody, hold your breath. And you want to know more? Let us know. All right. So, Sophia, gonna say, see ya,
Bye.
and thank you. Bye bye.